This month, I had to renew my auto insurance for $2. So let's figure out how to budget for that. Hey guys, welcome back to another month of my financial reset. I saw so many of you guys tuning in last month, so I decided to turn this into a monthly format for the time being. And I'm so excited for this month's episode because I have a new segment, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's dive right into it. As you can see over here, I spent a total of $4,274 in the month of June. It is so expensive, especially comparing to last month where I only spent $3,500. So let's dive right into the categories to see what exactly happened. The first thing that comes to my mind, I spent $2,300 on rent. $2,000 of these is for rent and $300 is for my parking. It has gone up by a lot compared to last month because my boyfriend fronted our rent a little bit more this month, so I pay him a little bit more than usual. Moreover though, as I was preparing for this video, I realized that I made a mistake over the past 4 months and I double counted some of my expenses as rent because my boyfriend and I have a running splitwise group and we just put everything in. So whenever I settle up the splitwise, I count that as rent, but I forgot to realize that that number includes some of the non-rent expenses that he paid for us. So yeah, my expenses has been slightly inflated over the past couple of months, but that's okay and actually reassuring to know because I'm not spending as much as I thought I was. The next category is food. I fumbled so bad on this category, especially since I didn't really treat anyone this month. So yeah, your girl just single-handedly spent that much money on food. I don't think there's any single specific meal that's super expensive, but it's more like the amount of eating out that I did over the past month is just crazy and I'm trying to tone it down a little bit. The next category is grocery. I spent $335 on grocery, which does feel like a lot. I think part of the reason might be because of this Walmart order over here that I spent $78 for because I bought 2 pairs of hiking pole for $37. It was a communication mistake. I thought my friend wanted me to buy it for her, but she realized she couldn't return it, so she doesn't want it anymore. So I still have that with me and I need to return that. The thing about Seattle is there's no Walmart in the near proximity, so I have to drive to Renton or Bellevue to do that and I haven't really been going, so I need to make sure to get my money back. So yeah, grocery is explained. I'm not feeling too bad about it. For gifts, I have $300, which I have no idea why. Let's check. I went back to Portland this month for my sister's graduation. We went climbing together, so I paid for that. I also bought her some graduation gifts. I think the main portion actually comes from my boyfriend because, as I told you many times already, I have a recurring membership at Orange Theory Fitness since it's been about half a year since I've been on a membership. Sometimes it feels a little bit lonely to go to these classes by myself, so I actually bought my boyfriend a punch card, $143 for 5 classes after taxes, so that he could occasionally come and join me with the workout classes. And then I also treated him on one of the more expensive meals, so that is that for gifts. A little bit expensive, but overall makes sense. The next category I have is entertainment. I feel really good because I spent $261 this month on entertainment. As I told you last month, I felt like I was being such a workaholic that I didn't really have enough fun. So I'm so glad to tell you that this month I did. Let's see what exactly I did. I went to see an interactive play by a local theater. There's Netflix. I went to bouldering with my sister, which I usually don't do, so I counted that as entertainment. But the majority of the category comes from the 2 concert tickets that I booked. I'm going to 5 Seconds of Summer next week with my friend, and I think in August, I'm gonna go see Ed Sheeran with my boyfriend. Honestly, the Ed Sheeran ticket has gone up so much in price. I remember last time he was in Seattle, it was pretty cheap. 2 concerts alone cost $200 and I'm okay with it. But the last time I've been to a concert was Conan Gray back in March, so it's been a hot sec and I'm actually pretty excited to see some concerts coming up. The next category is hobbies for $172. I think this single-handedly comes from Vertical World, which is a local Seattle climbing gym, and I am subscribed to their mailing list. So one day on my email, I saw that they were having a huge sale for opening up a new gym, and they were selling 5 punch cards for only about $70. That was such a good deal, so I decided to buy 10 punch cards for $172 after taxes. And I actually already went once with my friend. It was such a fun experience. I used to be a big climber, but then that kind of slowed down down, and I'm pretty happy to say that I somehow started becoming addicted to climbing again. In fact, this afternoon I'm gonna go top roping with my friend again, so I'm so excited for that, especially when I get it on a good deal. We're just gonna go along the order. The next category is fitness. I spent $90, and that mainly came from my Orange Theory membership, which makes sense. Next up, I have beauty and skincare. I spent $36. Oh yeah, when I was in Portland too, I got a facial for $30 after tax and tips, which is such a crazy good price because I found out this salon that is kind of like a beauty school. So they have a variety of services ranging from hairstyling, bleaching, haircuts, brows waxing, facial, and because it's the beauty school student doing your procedure, it is actually so affordable, and I was able to get a facial for 30 bucks. This was actually one of my subscriber goals because I've never done a facial before, so I was budgeting about 70 bucks, and the fact that I only spent 30 is so crazy. I'm thinking about dyeing my hair a little bit in the future, and I'm definitely going back there for that. The next category is utilities. I spent $108. My boyfriend pays for Wi-Fi fully, so I pay for the electricity, plus my boyfriend put in Splitwise for the renter's insurance for the past 3 months, so this number looks good to me. Next one is fashion. I only spent $24, but I actually don't remember what it's on. Oh, okay. So now I remember I spent $24 at Altered State. It's one of those local fashion stores that has the cutest clothes in Portland, and I bought a pair of earrings. I also gave my sister a pair as part of her graduation gift, but that's that. I then spent $24 on transportation. I think it's just 1 or 2 Ubers here and there, not a big deal. Gas was $85. This is actually so expensive because Kevin paid for our gas once. I mean, he's doing Uber Eats, so he offers to pay for some of my gas, but still, gas being $85 after Kevin has paid around is actually crazy to me. And that looks like all of my spendings. I think the main ick this month is in the amount of food that I got because I just ate out way too many times. I think in between June 8th to June 15th, I was having fun every day. I spent so much money. I had all-you-can-eat sushi on the 14th and then immediately went to Gyukaku, which is a Japanese barbecue place, on the 15th. So after that, I kind of like went into a period of slump. I decided to not spend any money because I started feeling really bad about my expenses. But that is that for the month. Overall, it's a bit high, but let's go into the sinking fund because I actually have more coming. For car, I had to renew my biannual insurance, so I paid $742 for the next 6 months, which is actually a lot cheaper than how much I used to pay. I remember when I first got my car, since I was under 25 and I had a ticket on file, my first 6 months of rent was $1,400, but that was also with Geico, which is just so expensive. So I've switched to Progressive ever since. I've upped my coverage by a little bit, and my insurance has almost halved over the course of 2 or 3 years, which I actually already feel so good. But don't worry, I have enough money in my sinking fund to cover for that. Next up, I have medical. I've actually maxed out of my deductibles this year, so a doctor's visit was only 15 bucks, but GLP-1 is not covered by insurance, and since I started GLP-1, I decided to spend 40 bucks for a DEXA scan so I can track my progress. I probably won't go again until maybe 4 months later. Next up is electronics. I think I only spent 12 bucks on the Apple Cloud and a little bit of in-app purchases. Overall, not too bad. I didn't spend any money on education or taxes this month, which is great. By the way, I still don't have my $2,000 back from IRS yet, so fingers crossed they're gonna give it back to me sometimes. In terms of travel, we booked the flights to Puerto Rico for $378. This is a pretty good deal, especially since in the past when I looked for flights to go to Puerto Rico from Seattle, it used to be almost $1,000. So I'm glad we caught a good deal, but I'm not gonna pay myself from the sinking fund until the trip is done, so we're just gonna leave it there for now. So that is the final amount of how much I spent in the month of June. If you're new to the channel, my name is April and I'm a 25-year-old software engineer living in Seattle, and in my channel I talk about personal finance, life in your 20s, as well as how I balance my full-time job with my creative calling. So if you're interested in any of the topics, make sure to subscribe, and with that we can move to the next section, which is to review my monthly goals. In my last episode, I set 3 goals for the month of June. The first goal is food under $350. We all know I failed big time on this goal. I almost doubled my goal amount. At this point though, let me look at some numbers.
Moment months later.
It seems like ever since the start of this year, I've always set myself a goal of food under $350 and I've never finished it. The closest I was in January when I spent $370, but a lot of my friends were not in Seattle, so I wasn't really seeing anyone. So I think that is the only reason that I was able to keep it so low. And I started to realize that in a regular month, I just cannot complete this goal. So I'm still gonna try again next month, but I'm gonna up my budget for food from now on because I simply cannot do $350. The next goal I had is entertainment over $100. This is pretty good. I did it. I remember when I was setting this goal, my main intention was because I felt like I was working too much and not having enough fun in the month of May. And even though I spent over $100 in terms of entertainment, some of these concert tickets are for the future, and to this day I really didn't enjoy any of those benefits yet. So it feels like it's still pending, but I'm still really glad that money aside, I was able to hang out with my friends a lot more than the previous month. A lot of the spendings are not from events, but rather, for example, we go hiking together, climbing together, and grabbing food together. So I think this category didn't really reflect how much more socializing I was able to do compared to the last month. The next goal I have is fashion $0 because I feel overwhelmed by my laundry and I don't want to buy any more clothes. I ended up still spending $24 on a pair of earrings, but that is okay because that's not clothes and I will count it as complete. But now I'm so excited to share my new segment for this month's episode, which is to rank my favorite purchases in the past month. This is definitely a great episode to do it because I spent so much money, but let's take a look. Honestly, looking back, a lot of these spendings are so worth it, but if I have to choose a favorite, it's definitely the Vertical World 10-time punch card because after taxes, my punch card averages to be $17, which is so cheap considering that a day pass at one of our other climbing gyms in Seattle is $30+. And because my friend and I are both so addicted to climbing right now, every time we would go to the climbing gym, we would belay each other and the whole process would take at least 4 hours. Sometimes we just climb until the gym is closed without even feeling like time has passed. So I really like how this membership is kind of like a little nudge for me to go back to climbing. So I'm so grateful of that. By the way, if you're doing your finances with me, let me know in the comments on what your favorite spending of the month is, because in addition to saving money, we need to feel good about our purchases. We already finished going over our expenses, but we didn't really take a look at the income yet. So let's do that right now. I'm in the process of diversifying my income. Right now, my income is still very heavily dependent on my Amazon paycheck, and I got paid $64.22 on my Amazon paycheck. I say this every single month, but this number is after 401k contributions, mega backdoor Roth, and my HSA contributions. So I automatically invest a portion of my paycheck before it even reaches my bank account, and I don't track those numbers because I see those as retirement money that I don't touch. In addition to that, I also made a little bit of interest and dividends in some of my non-tax deferred bank accounts. It seems like the interest rate has gone up a little bit, so I made a little bit more than the previous month, but I'm still in the process of diversifying my income. So hopefully in the future, I'll be able to have more income sources that's not just on my Amazon paycheck. But that is my income. And next up, we're gonna go to the exciting part of this video, which is the income allocation. If you're new to the video, this is how I do my income allocation. My paycheck gets deposited into this one bank account that's only for income, and in the end of the month, I allocate whatever is on this account into my other bank account that goes to expenses, emergency fund, sinking fund, as well as investment. And I round my income to the hundreds so it's easier to allocate. So in this video, I'm going to be allocating $6,400. The first thing I do is for my expenses. These are fake numbers at the moment from last month, so I'm gonna delete these and I'm gonna go figure out how much I spent first. As you can see over here, I spent almost $4,300. I'm just gonna put 65%. This number is a little bit less than my expenses, but as I said earlier, my expenses might be overcounted by around $200, and I have a little bit of leftover in my expenses account, so this feels good to me. For debt, I have a car loan and I pay $400 every single month, so 7% looks good to me. I think I sent a decent amount of emergency fund last month, so I'm just gonna keep that number very low this month, especially since I spent a lot of money already. Seems like I have about 20% left for my sinking fund and 6% left for investments. Let's do the investments first because I know exactly my ratio. I do 90% stocks and 10% crypto, which is something like this. And then for the sinking fund though, I would have to look at how much I have left in each account. Okay, I don't have a lot of big travels coming up, so I'm gonna tone it down. Last month I funded my travel expenses a lot because I just came back from Bolivia, but I don't have huge travel expenses in the foreseeable future, so I'm gonna tone it down a wee bit and just do 25%. Education, I stopped funding that account. I'm still figuring out what to do with that money. Taxes, I'm gonna tone it down since the IRS still owes me money. In terms of electronics, I also don't see myself needing to replace any of my tech gadgets, so I'm just gonna tone it down as well. I'm gonna put a little bit more money on my Roth IRA since I'm not on track to filling up the $7,500 yet. And then for medical, there's something coming. I'm gonna keep it to myself for now, but I need to fund my medical account, and I'm actually gonna do a decent amount. Maybe I'll just do 20% because I try to invest in my HSA account so that I can reimburse myself in the future. But if I go into the reds, I'm just gonna pay from my HSA account. In terms of cars, since I just purchased my insurance and I might have to renew my vehicle registration coming up, I'm gonna fund a little bit more this month. And apparently I have overfunded myself by 5%, so I'm gonna cut my car overhead to 13%. Electronics, I probably only need 4%. I'm gonna tone down my Roth IRA by a little bit since I already do mega backdoor, and I have 5% more now. So I'm gonna up my travel to actually maybe 28, so I could up my medical to 22%. That looks good to me. So now I have updated my sinking fund number. So what I'm gonna do next is the most exciting part of them all, which is to move all the money around. I'm gonna first pay myself by moving my sinking fund money to my expenses account, and then I'm gonna be moving all of my paycheck money, everything on my income account to these accounts. So let's do that right now. Okay, with that, all of my funds has been transferred and I'm about to close up this month's financial reset, but I realized that I forgot to do the self-reflection question. So let's do that together right now. I'm just gonna pick the first 3 questions to answer. Where did you overspend or underspend? This one was pretty straightforward. We've already talked about it. I've overspent a shit ton on food, but at the same time, I started to realize that my goal that I set for myself over the past half a year that I've always been failing has been a little bit unrealistic. So in the coming month, I'm gonna up it to 400 and we'll go from there to see if that's a little bit more reasonable. What does your spending make you feel? This past month, I actually feel like my spending has been working for me a lot because I feel like I've saved where I should be saving. For example, saving money by going to hikes with my friends, but at the same time, I also spend money where I should be spending, like spending money on concerts and rock climbing and gifts on the people around me. So I feel good and balanced between saving and having fun. Am I proud of the savings progress I made? I actually don't think I saved as much because my spending has been significantly higher than the past month, but I think I always have to put into perspective that I do save my money before I even see my paycheck. So what I'm saving right now is just what's extra, and that is good. The fact that I've double counted some of my expenses helps me feel a little bit better about myself. So that is it for the self-reflection portion. I've already tracked my net worth. You can see it over here. I'm not gonna go into the detail until I do my yearly net worth because the stock fluctuates a lot over the year. It's not worth it digging into the details every single month. With all of that done, and we've just done the reflection, so now the only thing we have to do is to plan for the next month. First up, what events do I know is occurring next month? I actually have one very big thing coming up in the next month. I will vlog about it, so I'm gonna keep it to myself and I'll let you guys know about it after the thing has happened. The next thing I have is what areas of my budget needs shifting. I think everything to me looks pretty balanced. I just want to spend a little bit less money on food, and in terms of clothes, I'm still in the same mindset, so I still don't want to spend any money on fashion. What changes will you make to increase your savings next month? I think the simple trick of doing my budget properly instead of double counting my splitwise expenses is going to be very helpful. And finally, let's set the goals. So the goal for my spending on the next month is going to be food under 400, fashion is still 0, and I don't really have a good thing for the last one, so I guess I'll go back to my usual, which is the grocery, and I'm going to try to limit my grocery under $300. And that is going to be it. We have officially closed out my July financial reset. If you watch all the way until here, make sure to like the video and make sure to check out this video over here, which talks about the lifestyle inflation I had in my life that are so worth it. I'll see you next week. Bye.